Hello everyone. Welcome to this session on introduction to data lakes in Azure. Today we have our speaker Haroon Rasid, who is a Microsoft certified trainer and a data engineer. He will be guiding us about data lakes in Azure, and I hope you will have a good learning experience. So welcome to this session.
Yeah, thanks, Chaitanya. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, everyone. So, as Chaitanya said, we are going to look into the data lakes in Azure. So, let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? Is my presentation screen is visible?
Yes, Haroon, your screen is visible.
Okay. Yeah. Myself, Harun. I'm working as a data engineer with Hitachi Solutions, and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, and these are some of my achievements. And we'll directly jump into the topic that is data lake. So before moving into the Azure data lake, I want to give you the flavor of what is data lake. Okay, so if you know what is data lake, then you can easily relate it with Azure Data Lake or any other cloud-based data lakes. Okay. So first of all, what is data lake? I have given a simple explanation here. It's a centralized repository. Okay. So where it will allow you to store all your structured, semi-structured or unstructured data over there. Because this is the data era, we all know this is the data era, and we have varieties of data and unpredictable amount of data in our organizations, right? So we need to store all those data in a centralized repository. It should not be here and there. It should be in a single place. We call it as a single source of truth. Okay. So this data lake supports that. Acting as a centralized repository, it supports having all the data grouped together in a single source of truth. And it also supports storing structured, semi-structured, or unstructured data as well. But in our traditional storage system, you can easily think about data warehouses where you can store only structured data, right? So you need to have rows and columns, okay, or a table structure. You can easily relate it. So you need to have that kind of a structured data so that you can store it. But in today's data era, you have media data like audio, video, and some JSON file formats, many data formats, right? Varieties of data. So you need to store all those data. So this data lake supports varieties of data. Okay. And it also enables the organizations to harness the power of big data. So obviously, whenever you say data nowadays, it is a big data only. Okay. So we are not dealing with any small amount of data. We are dealing with only big data. So this data lake supports the big data analytics in a nice way. So that is what this data lake is for. It's simply like a folder. It's simply like a folder where you go and store your data. It's simply like a container, we can say. Okay. But how we organize it, how we architecture it, that matters a lot. Okay. So that we are going to see. So that is a data lake for us. That is the simple definition for data lake. So now we need to ask ourselves why we need to go for data lake. Okay. So as I said earlier, we have some challenges in the traditional system. Okay, the traditional storage system, that is you can't store a high volume of data, multiple varieties of data you cannot store in a single storage system, and high velocity of data also it's a bit difficult. Okay, you can relate it with the simple DBMS, any database management system. So you cannot store multiple varieties of data in a single DBMS. You cannot have a unstructured data or semi-structured data in a DBMS. Okay, but this data lake supports that. And flexibility. So what flexibility it is giving? So diverse data types. Okay, you can store a CSV file, you can store a Excel file, you can store a MP4 audio, any file. Okay, diverse file types, data types, sorry, file types, you can store it in data lakes. Okay, scalability. So you can scale it horizontal. That means you can opt for any of the cloud providers data lake storage account, and you can dump your data over there. If you need, you can dump more data and pay more for it. That is horizontally scaling. That means whenever you need it, you pay for it. That is how you can scale it. Okay. So that is these are all the answer for your question, that why I need to move to data lake. Okay. And these are some of the advantages. Obviously, when you answer your question why I need to move, those are all the advantages, right? So centralized storage, so you are going to store everything in a single place, which is going to act as a single source of truth for your entire organization. Okay. And advanced analytics you can do. As I already mentioned, data era, that means everything is driven by data. Okay. So whatever the raw data you are getting it from any of the sources, you need to consume it consume it as a valuable insight. How you are going to consume it as a valuable insight? Kind of a report or any of the front end applications like that, right? So everything falls under this advanced analytics only. Advanced analytics in the sense you are going to process your data, raw data, and derive some valuable insight from it. And based on the insights, you are going to do your analytics or improve your business, sales, whatever it is. Okay, so that is one of the advantage. And cost effectiveness. So cost effectiveness, that means you are going to pay for whatever you are going to store. That's it. Okay. So obviously, we are not going to store any dump data, like we are not going to dump any earlier data, right? Old data and all, we are not going to dump and keep. So then and there we can clear it, and we can have only the current data. And in that perspective, it is very cost effective. So these are all the basics of data lakes. Any questions in this? If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat window. We can discuss it. Then we move to the Azure Data Lake. Okay, I hope no questions. So I assume like you all understand what is data lake right now. So now we'll move to Azure Data Lake. Okay. So first of all, I said, right, data lake is nothing but the architecture of how you are going to store the data. It is not any specific tool, or it is not any specific application or anything, programming language, nothing like that. It's how you save your data in a better way. So Azure Data Lake Storage, or ADLS Gen 2, these are the terms that you might have heard if you already worked on Azure. So here the Azure ADLS is simply a container. Container in the sense like your folder in your PC or in your mobile, right? It's simply a folder, but it is having some additional features. It is having some additional features like hierarchical namespace. Okay, all those things are there that we are going to see. So since we are discussing about Azure Data Lake Storage account, here Azure is nothing but a cloud provider. So like Azure, we have multiple cloud providers in market. They are also having this data lake concepts with a different name. When you go with Azure, you will call it as a Azure Data Lake Storage account. Okay, or you will in short, we will call it as ADLS. Okay, in ADLS, we have two things. One is ADLS Gen 1 and ADLS Gen 2. Okay, Gen 2, I hope by 2024 February they are going to deprecate that. So that means from February onwards, we are going to use only Gen 2. But long back itself, we stopped using Gen 1 because Gen 1 is not having the feature which Gen 2 is having. That means the hierarchical namespace structure that Gen 2 only is having. So we are using only Gen 2. So don't worry, I will show you what is Gen 2, how to create it, everything we are going to see in some time. Okay, I'm just giving you the introduction about Azure Data Lake Storage account. Okay, so that ADLS, that name you should aware of. We'll call it as a Azure Data Lake Storage account. Okay, so yeah. This is the one that I have said about the hierarchical namespace. If you see the in the left side, flat namespace, right? Let me highlight it. So this flat namespace. So you can have a subfolder concept here, but the namespace will be very flat here. That means you can locate the file tree by giving the path. But if you want to have a hierarchical namespace, for example, uh, this I can say the path to you can consider as a year, okay, 2023. And this path 3 is for month. This is for December month. So like this, you can have this path for each and every month. And inside each and every month, you can store date-wise data. So today's date, 15th of December, you can have one folder, and 16th December, you can have one folder. Like that, you can have the hierarchy. But here in the flat namespace, you can't have like that. Okay, so when you go to big data, we store the data in this format only, in the subfolder concept only, because reading and writing will be very faster. Here the reading, for example, if you want to read a 16th December file, you need to pass all the month, all the days file. But here it is not like that. If you want to read a 15th December file, you will directly go to this folder and read the file. But here it is not the case. That is the major advantage between this major advantage of having the hierarchical namespace. Okay. Any doubt in this or any questions or clarification needed? You can put it in the chat window. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to create a ADLS, that is Azure Data Lake storage account, and how to store the files over there and what are the functionalities. We are going to do it do it as a hands-on. I'm going to show it to you from Azure portal. Okay, let me share my Azure portal screen. Okay, I hope my Azure portal screen is visible to you all. Can anyone confirm? Chaitanya, can you please confirm?
Yes, Harun, it's visible.
Okay, thanks. So this is the Azure portal. If you're new to Azure, I will just give a quick overview. So this is Azure portal. You can go to this portal by portal.azure.com. This is the address, and you need to have a subscription for it. And you can also create your free subscription for 30 days. That's a trial subscription. And if you are a student, you will get $100 credit points as a free. Okay. So here you can create all the resources, all the Azure cloud resources. If you click on create a resource, here you can see the categories: machine learning resources, analytics resources, storage, DevOps, all the resources are categorized here. Okay. So for us now, we are going to look into a data lake storage, right? So it falls under storage category. Okay. So here it is named as a storage account only. Okay, I will show you one more thing. If you see here, there is a separate service called Data Lake Storage Gen 1. Okay, this only I said it is going to get depreciated in the February month. Okay, so we are not using this. There is no separate service for Gen 2. If you search for Gen 2, there won't be any separate service. But if you search for Gen 1, there is a separate service. Okay, but how you will create a Gen 2? You simply need to create a storage account only. Okay, so I will show you how to create it. If you go to storage account. So storage account, when you are creating a storage account, there are two things here. One is a normal blob storage, another one is a ADLS Gen 2 storage account. Okay, so the blob storage also will not have this hierarchical namespace. That means the subfolder concept, it also will not have. Okay, only the ADLS Gen 2 will have it. So whenever you want to create a storage account, you will come to the storage account. But here there is one specific option is there. If you enable that option, the storage account will behave as a ADLS Gen 2. If you are not enabling that option, your storage account will be a normal blob storage account. We will create both the things and we'll see the difference between those two. Okay, so now I'm going to create a normal storage account, which is going to be a blob storage account. Okay, so this is how you create any other services in Azure. Whenever you click on that service name, it will open the details page. You need to pass the information here. The subscription, this is my subscription. Okay, and resource group, I'm going to create a new resource group. I'm going to say this as ADLS session. Any name you can give. Storage account name I'm giving today's date I'm giving just for identification. Region, this region should be always near to the end user. For example, now I'm going to consume the storage account. I will be giving the region which is near to me. Okay, if you are working for your client and your client is located in Canada or US, you need to choose this region in any of the Canada or US region. If you search for here Canada East, Canada West, UK West, like that, many multiple regions will be there. Okay, there are more than 60 plus regions available in Azure. Why? Because the latency will be very less. If I have my data in South India data center, the latency will be very less. Okay, so you need to be more careful on choosing this region. And performance, standard and premium. As of now, I'm going with the standard one since this is a demo. Redundancy. So redundancy is also like how you want to replicate your data and keep. For example, local redundant means this is a low cost. Okay, that means your data will be available in only one zone. Okay, geo redundant means your data will be available in your zone as well as in a secondary zone also it will be available. That means a secondary region. For example, now South India means it will be available in Central India also. Why? Because if any issue is happening in South India data center, if I have LRS, I will be losing my all the data. Okay, but if I choose GRS, the copy of my data will be available in another region also. So you can take the data from that region, but you need to pay for it, right? So I'm going with LRS because since this is a demo one, but based on your requirement, you can go for GRS also. So this advanced section, I'm not changing anything because I'm going to create a blob account, blob storage account, not a ADLS. Next, we will create a ADLS. That time I will show you what to change, why to change, okay? Networking. So who and all can access this storage account? I'm saying enable public access. That means who and all knows the name of the storage account or the endpoint of the storage account from the Azure environment, they can access. Or else I want to put some restrictions. For example, only the persons or only the IP addresses whichever I am giving the access, only the VNet virtual network to whichever I'm giving the access, they only can access the storage account means you need to enable this option. Okay, as of now I'm going with enable public access from all the networks. But usually we will go for this when we are going with the enterprise level because the data should be secured, right? So no other persons or outside person should access the data. So we will be creating a VNet. Only the applications or resources inside the VNet can access the storage account. Okay, so for that you need to create a VNet and add the resources or applications inside the VNet. So they can only able to access this storage account. Okay, I'm going with the public access from all the networks as of now. This tags is nothing but simple like a hashtag in our social media. So here you can create a tag for this service. Any other service also you can create a tag. For example, here I can say name as environment. Okay. So I'm giving environment and I'm giving this as a dev. So later you can search the all the dev environment resources simply by using this keyword. So you will get to know what are all the resources running under the dev. Or if you say think this is a staging environment, so later you will search for STG in the tags, you will get to know all the services which is running for the staging environment. This is just a tags. This is optional only, just I'm giving. So you can take a review of all the settings or the options that you have enabled here. And I'm going to create it. And we have a question. Can we use Azure for free for learning things? Yes, Manoj, you can use Azure for free for 30 days. You need to provide your credit card information just for verification. And for 30 days, they will be giving you some $100 credit points, 100 USD equivalent credit points they will be providing to you. You can use it. Okay, so deployment succeeded. That means in that particular region, I have created my storage account. So if I click on go to resource, this is my storage account. So this is the overview page. Here you can see the resource group name, and the subscription, and where it got deployed, South India region, and when it got created. You can see the tag here, and blob service. I'm going inside the blob service because here only we are going to save the data. So it looks simply like a folder, right? I can create a folders here. For example, I'm saying test one. It should be always lowercase. So inside this test01, I can upload my files and keep. I can upload, okay? But if you see inside this test01 folder, you cannot create another folder. Okay, inside this test01, I couldn't able to create another folder. I can upload a number of files, but I couldn't able to create another folder. Okay, but big data, as we discussed earlier, big data is not going to work like this, right? It is going to have a subfolder concept. So for that subfolder, we need to create another folder inside this test01. So for that, what we are going to do is, let me create another resource. Again, I'm going to storage account. I can create resources from many places here. I can click on create resource and go, or I can simply search for storage accounts, or you can find the recently used services here. So our resource name is storage account. So I'm clicking on storage account, creating a new one, and the same subscription, and under the same resource group, I'm going to create it. So the name I'm going to give it as session ADLS, and I'm going to give 12/15/2023. The storage account name should be unique. Okay, and in the same region, South India region, I'm going to create it with the local redundancy. So in this advanced tab, if you want to create, so the one that we created is a blob storage. This session normal one that we created is a blob storage. This session ADLS account, right? This we need it as a ADLS Gen 2. That means Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Okay, data lake account. This is the actual data lake account. Here in this advanced tab, you have a option called hierarchical namespace. So this hierarchical namespace, if you enable this, then only this storage account will behave it as a data lake Gen 2. See here, hierarchical namespace complemented by data lake Gen 2 endpoint enables files and directory semantics. Okay, it accelerates the big data analytics workload, and it also enables the access control list. That means it is going to give all these features when you enable this hierarchical namespace. Okay, so before, when I created a normal storage account, I didn't enable it. Now I'm enabling it and creating one more service, okay, with a different name. Any doubt in this? You all clear with this, right? First, we created a normal storage account, that is a blob storage account. Now we are creating a ADLS Gen 2 storage account, but we are going to create it under the storage account only, but simply enabling this will change the entire structure. Okay, thanks for the confirmation. Now I'm skipping all these steps because we already discussed. Tags also I'm just skipping. I'm creating this. Now this is getting deployed. Okay, this got completed. So when I go inside this resource, here you can see data lake storage. Previously it was showing blob service. Can you see the difference? This one is a blob service. This one is a data lake storage. We did only enabled that hierarchical namespace. So visually you can see the difference here. And here also you can see hierarchical namespace is enabled. There it is disabled. Okay. So now let me open this parallelly and show you. So here I created a test01 earlier. Now again, I'm going to create here also. I'm going to say ADLS01 just for the differentiation. So here I created one folder. So inside this folder, I am going to upload a file. Okay, here you can see there is an option to add directory, but here you don't have an option to add a directory. Okay, that is the major difference here. So that means here I can go and say December, and I can have another months also, like Jan, whatever it is. Okay, so inside December I can go, I can have a folder for 15th. Inside 15 I can go and have for hour wise. Okay, every hour 01, 02, 03. That means when you are reading, when you are going to read a data from 9 a.m. data, okay, 9 a.m. 15th 9 a.m. data, it will directly come to this folder. It will skip all the other scanning. It will directly come to this folder and read only this data. But in this case, if you have all the files here, thousands of files here, millions of files here, so it needs to scan all the files to get you the particular record. Okay, so we will never ever go with blob storage or flat namespaces for big data analytics. We will go with this hierarchical namespaces, that is data lake hierarchical namespaces for big data analytics. That is the major differentiation that you all need to understand. Okay, so you can parallelly see this is normal blob storage. This is a data lake storage account Gen 2. Okay, so any doubt in this? Doesn't scan instead similar to a hash. Yeah, it no needs to scan the entire files. So when you say read the data from this folder, it will directly go to that folder and it will read it and give it to you. Okay, so this is just the basic architecture. Over this, you can build your delta tables also. So that we call it as a delta lake. Okay, so first we had a data warehouse concept, then we moved to data lakes. So now it is a delta lake. Okay, now delta lake is emerging. So that is a different concept altogether. So there you will create a table itself inside of this folder. You will create a tables and you will do a time traveling for the table. All those things you can do. Can we send data to data lake using? Yes, you can. That means using SQL Server. SQL Server will not send the data actually. Using SSIS packages or using your ADF, Azure Data Factory or Databricks, those kind of tools you can use, ETL tools you can use, and you can send the data to ADLS or you can fetch the data from ADLS. So we have covered this Databricks fundamentals in last session. Maybe you can find that link from this YouTube channel, which Surang is going to share in some time. There we have read the data from ADLS using Databricks. Okay. So similarly, you can read the data from ADLS using a data factory. Any ETL tool, you can read the data and push the data. Any doubt in this or any clarification questions on ADLS? Great. So I will show you from the storage account perspective. So here you can see everything is a storage account. Okay, everything is a storage account, but you can see this is a storage V2. That is Gen 2. This is a file storage. This is a blob storage. That means everything is a storage only, storage account only. But how we are going to organize the that means how we are going to architecture it. That says whether there is a Gen 2 or that's a normal blob storage or a file storage or whatever it is. Okay, so that we need to understand. So whenever it comes to big data, you can directly go and create a Gen 2. Okay, that will help you a lot. Yeah, I'm good with this and I'm open for questions. You can raise your questions if you have any.
So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. We would be happy to answer. Haroon is here to answer all your questions. So anything related to Azure or anything related to data engineering, anything you can just ask right now.
So Azure Data Lake and Databricks. So Databricks is a ETL, I can say. ETL, it's not a ETL also. Databricks is a separate tool where you can write your code and do the transformation to your data. Data lake is a storage layer. Okay, so Databricks lies above the data lake only. Data lake is a storage layer. Databricks is a tool where you will actually go and write your Spark code, PySpark or Scala or SQL codes, and fetch the data from the data lake, do the transformation, and consume the data. So data lake is a storage layer. Databricks is a ETL layer, which sits above the data lake. I hope you got your answer, Thiru. Thanks. So you can raise any other questions related to data engineering, let's ranging from ADF or Databricks, Data Lake, SSIS, or any other data related questions we can discuss. We have some time, I believe, because this is just an introduction to Gen 2, that is introduction to data lake. So I didn't included the Delta Lake concepts here. So Delta Lake is a vast subject which deals with many things like the time traveling, the vacuuming, optimization, everything is there. So I don't want to confuse you all with that. So when you know what is Data Lake, then you can eventually learn what is Delta Lake, or we can further have one more session on Delta Lake also. So if you have any other questions, we can discuss now. Yes, Chaitanya, I think we are good. Everyone is clear with the concepts.
Okay. So thank you so much, Haroon. Thank you for taking your time in guiding us about uh, data lakes and Azure. And it's our pleasure to have you at Steva and guide us about this amazing topic of data lakes. And we look forward to have you in the upcoming sessions as well. So
Sure,
thank you
sure.
so much.
Yeah, thanks for this. Yeah.
So regarding the certificates, I will share. I'm sharing a attendance link now. You have to fill out that attendance link, and then you will get your certificate. So let me just share it. Yeah, you have to fill this attendance form, and then we will give you the certificate of participation for this session. Yeah, thank you so much, Haroon. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chaitanya. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Have a great day. So I have shared the certificate link. If let me just fill the certificate, just fill the attendance form, and you will get the certificate link. I mean, you will get the certificate on your mail, and do fill it correctly. Okay, so I guess there's some problem with the link. Okay, uh, okay. I'll share the link again. Don't worry. So okay, yeah, got it. What's the problem? So my bad, I pasted the link. Yeah, I think yeah, this should work. Yeah, it's working fine. I'm really sorry for that wrong link. I'll delete this message as well. I hope now everyone has the access for the attendance form. Please fill this attendance form in order to get your certificate. And do fill all your details correctly, email ID, name, and everything. And do give your valuable feedback about the speaker, about us, but what are the things that we can improve, so that this can help us in improving the upcoming sessions as well. We always look for learning. So all your valuable feedback will help us in improving the sessions. Yeah. So I hope my screen is visible. If anyone can confirm this. Okay. Yeah. So I've shared the link, as well as I've pinned their link in the comments as well, in the chat box as well. And so these are the QR codes. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen. These are the QR codes for joining our community. So you can join our community through Discord, so that you can be updated about our upcoming events, and you will get a notification about a notification as well as a reminder for the upcoming sessions. So you can scan this QR code and then join our community. And I'll also share the link as well in the chat box, so that you can join through the link. The recording for this for today's session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, then please do, and so that you can revisit the video. I mean, you can revise these topics uh, afterwards. So do do check out our YouTube channel as well, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, so that you can stay updated about the upcoming sessions as well, and you can rewatch the videos. So so the recording of the today's session will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. I have shared all the links, so do join our community. If you are not on Discord, then you can join on WhatsApp as well, or on our Facebook group as well. And I have also shared the YouTube channel link. So do subscribe to our YouTube channel. So thank you so much everyone. Thanks for joining, and we look forward to see you all in the upcoming sessions as well.